piece of trash I've ever seen.
Yes! Because on one hand, it's like...
They're in the basement now, right?
They're past that.
They're past the basement.
They're just slightly past the basement.
Okay. Basement has occurred, and they are now post-basement.
Yeah, they learned about Aaron's father and the outside world and all that stuff, and the story has expanded in scope like a million times, right? Thing is, I already knew that was coming, because, you know, it was 5 years between season 1 and 2 or something.
I can't believe you're refrigerating the cake. It says on the label, do not refrigerate. Bloody fools. Where'd you get that A&W from?
It should have been on the top shelf, unless it's all gone now.
It must be. Because...
Oh,
there's 2. Okay. They were
grab
hidden
dibs
by
on-
the ginger beer.
I'll grab dibs on the other one. Or that one.
I mean, we can trade still.
But so, I think that Attack on Titan is a masterclass in a small-scale story expanding as it goes on, right? And in a very natural way. Like, the entire first season just works. Like, everything about the story individually works. Even when you're like, there are people who can turn into Titans. There's why? It's a mystery, and then you get satisfying answers to the mysteries. And then the world opens up, and you're like, oh, life inside the walls is not what you think it is, and la-da-da-da.
But
like
also Titans.
Like, the entire premise of the world that I established in episode 1's is wrong. That's great.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong from the perspective of our main it's from the perspective of our main characters. As far as they're concerned, it's correct, right?
Right, because like they grew up there underneath that like doctrine, and they didn't venture further into the walls and like become a part of the bullshit that goes on in there.
And so the progression of the worldview in the show is amazing, okay? Because the author could have started with the correct idea, but he started with the idea the main characters had, so that our journey of information is mirrored by theirs, right?
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you need to do. He's also excellent at character writing, there's no greater demonstrator of that than the elite squad, Levi's squad, who died in the forest in the second arc, right?
Yeah.
Everyone loved them for the 3 to 4 episodes that they were there. I think one of the main reasons the pace started to drag in that arc was because they wanted to give them a little more screen time than they would naturally have gotten if they kept the pace up. Right. Because it made their immediate deaths at the hands of the Titan that much worse.
Yeah.
But they had good characterization in those episodes, even if it made the show drag. And that, speaks to the author's ability to characterize even minor characters who are going to die immediately.
Yes.
He's also just really bad at concluding for some reason character arcs. I cannot fathom what the point of Ymir's plotline is. I literally just don't get it. Because if the end state for Historia as a character is going to be a plot device figurehead queen with no agency who gets pregnant by some fucking nobody later on who doesn't even have any lines of dialogue as far as I know, and she's just sad and depressed because now Ymir's dead, and what was the point of her? Why is she here? Why was Ymir here if her character and Historia's character weren't going to bounce off and develop each other, and you were just going to make Ymir act out of character, leave for no reason, and then give up her own life for some other character who you're going to introduce later on to have the Titan power? And I don't get it. What's the point? Why was this character here? If you remove them entirely, it would even make more sense. Because the whole point of Ymir being there is she ate one of the traitors who was trying to infiltrate the walls, right?
Okay.
And accidentally gained their Titan power and was released from her hellish, Titan prison, right?
Okay.
That's the thing, and then she infiltrated with them, but separately from them, because she ate that guy and they ran away, and then she woke up later and is alone and is like, what's going on? And then she finally managed to make her way inside the walls and just kind of slips into society, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to point out, I have not watched this season at all, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Wait. So, but you know the information, right? Or, like, you know the...
I know stuff from the previous seasons.
Okay. You watched all of season 2, though, right?
Yeah.
With Ymir, where...
So that's where they got lost in the snow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that season.
Yeah.
So, basically, the way she's not, the Titan shifters, everyone but Eren, is people sent from the country outside the walls.
Okay.
What's really going on is that the walls, they're a bastion of a minority population that was sent there, that retreated there after a big war with a larger empire that exists outside the world that they know. Okay? Basically, the way it works is that they're discriminated against there, and it's basically a Jews allegory.
Okay.
And a Nazi Germany allegory. And the Nazi Germany allegory, as punishment for traitors or other capital offenses, they inject you with the Titan serum, push you off the wall onto this island, where the 3 walls are, and then you turn into a mindless Titan, and that's it. You exist until the Titan starves and starts to decay, and then you just die.
So the whole setting of Attack on Titan is really just
inside a prison.
The dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, they're inside a prison, basically.
Okay.
Okay. The way that Titan shifters work is if you eat another Titan shifter as a Titan, you gain its power, memories, and the ability to shift from human form to Titan form.
Memories.
Yes.
So...
your lifespan also gets limited to the 13 years following when you acquire the power. Like, you will just die in 13 years.
Okay, but Eren can turn into a Titan.
Yes.
And we've been following him from the start.
Yes. He gained the power... So remember those, flashes of things that were incoherent in the first, 2 to 3 episodes?
Yeah.
When his father had a needle and was like, I'm so sorry. He injected Eren with the Titan serum, who then turned into a mindless Titan, like all the other Titans.
Okay.
Grisha, his father, was a shifter. Eren then ate his father.
Okay, that
and
explains...
became the Attack Titan, which is...
The Attack Titan.
Well, that's they have types. Like, the Colossal Titan, that's a special Titan type that gets passed down.
Okay.
Okay, and the Armored Titan...
Yeah.
That's another one.
So,
Attack Titan is basically DPS.
The individual Titans have particular traits.
Yeah.
And when you eat someone who has that trait, you gain that trait.
Yes, exactly.
So if you eat multiple shifters...
Yes.
You gain all of their traits?
Yes.
And memories?
Yes. So what happened with...
Does that shorten your lifespan any further?
I don't think so, as far as I know, but it's 13 years. So one... Grisha's an asshole because Eren was 10, so he's gonna die when he's 23.
Yeah. Okay.
No if that's also...
So Eren has a time limit on his life.
Yes.
Alright.
And coincidentally, that's why we see the power gets passed around so much when we get to that point, is that people are constantly passing it around and sacrificing themselves, letting themselves get eaten, because they're going to die anyway. They're usually in the last year of their life, and it's this guy's 40, why is he passing it on to his nephew now? Because he's going to die right now,
Right.
So anyway, Ymir gains the power of the Jaw Titan. What?
My biggest question is about that 13-year time span.
Mm-hmm.
That means that they will inevitably die off. Because
unless they keep passing up.
You can't procreate that frequently. Physical maturity starts to be reached around the age of 13, but like...
Oh,
if
I
everyone
mean...
is...
Oh, no. I don't mean that they die at the age of 13.
I know. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they have to... If you want to, like, pass it on, you have to give it to someone who isn't already a Titan themselves, and, like, B has been born. I don't know how to explain this, but, like, if we assume...
Someone who will reach reproductive age within those 13 years.
Right, like, if we assume that your age of majority is 18, and therefore, like, if you fuck before then, it's illegal... Right?
Sure.
Then that means that the absolute earliest that you can make anyone a Titan is the age of 5.
Sure, but you don't do that. Like, as
Right.
far as we've seen, it's always been given to 20-somethings or late teens.
So, how...
I mean, obviously, like, you could break that and give it to, like, you know, a 5-year-old, but there wouldn't be much point in doing that.
Right. But, like, the thing there, though, is that they have to give those people then time to reach maturity before they can do that.
Well, so remember, having children doesn't pass down the trait.
Right.
So it's always about getting injected and then just making sure to have someone else eat you every 13 years.
Right. But if the entire population is subject to that, then...
There's only one person that can be any Titan at any time. So...
But they're just going to keep eating people, and that will decrease the population, thereby decreasing the number of candidates. This is a time-limited population.
Are we talking within the walls? Because it's suggested that... Oh, I mean... well, I mean, okay, how many people would have to be eaten in a generation? Every 13 years? So 26, 30... Within 100 years, you'd have to sacrifice 8-ish people? It's not that. Yeah. That's not time-limited. You could have a population of people grow up in 100 years that... Yeah, no, that's fine. But, point being, so the Armored Titan, the Colossal Titan, and the Female Titan, who we don't meet until later, they are infiltrators, special operatives from that outside world, who are supposed to come in and tear down the walls and destroy these people because everyone's like still prejudiced against them or whatever.
Okay, so is that what those two dudes were? I don't remember their names.
Bertolt and Reiner.
Yeah, they are those operatives.
Yes, those two and Annie.
And Annie, okay.
The one who...
Annie died, right?
Annie encased herself in crystal and has never been seen again.
Okay.
Remember the finale of the first season?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I barely remember that at this point, but yeah.
Okay. So...
God, the first season aired so long ago.
5 years. When they infiltrate...
5? Only 5?
I think 5. 2013.
6, but...
6, okay.
It was really 2013?
Yeah. So, those 3 infiltrated with a 4th person. There was the Colossal, Armored, Female, and Jaw Titan, which is...
Well, no, it couldn't have been 2013, because when we...
I don't know.
When we watched that... Yeah, we still had Dave as Dave.
Oh.
Like, here.
That was...
In your basement.
Oh,
talking about Potato Girl.
That was minimum 10 years ago, then.
Yeah, I mean...
There was a 5-year gap between Season 1 and Season 2, remember?
I need to see now, because this is a long time ago. No wonder I don't remember shit. Attack on Titan. Boop. Japanese manga series and anime. Attacking / charging giant. Anime.
Animo.
2013. Really?
Oh, yeah, I called it.
April 7th, 2013.
Well, because...
It felt earlier than
Karen
that,
didn't stop being Dave until after high school.
Well,
A while after high school, as I remember. Yeah, I think the first time we saw her as Karen was Asen 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, that was like 5 years ago, actually.
Oh, fuck, really?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I only remember you asking me to go to Ace and me saying no 3 other times, so...
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I think you were there for the second time I went? Something like that.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, you were there for the second.
So,
you canceled.
Ymir was a mindless titan who got pushed into the, flesh prison because she had been, like, the figurehead of a cult or something.
Uh-huh.
She was, like, groomed as a child to be the figurehead of a cult. They busted down on the cult, and, she's just like a kid. She doesn't know what's going on, but they still inject her anyway because the cultists blamed her. It was like, she's the figure. She made us all do all of this.
This 8-year-old.
Yeah, and she just kind of went along with it. And so, cause she didn't know what was going on, but she gets injected, pushed over, and she becomes a mindless titan roaming the wastes, and then eventually starts to...
And I remember that in her backstory, because that was actually explained in Season 2, or at least, like, shown that she was in a cult, and then just, like, forgot everything and woke up in the middle of nowhere.
Right. She woke up in the middle of nowhere after busting out of the ground underneath these infiltrators who had set up camp near her inactive form.
And that's, like, her first real memory.
She ate the Jaw Titan person and gained his powers, right? And then she woke up, basically, was able to shift back into a human after the others ran away. And then she found her way to the walls and just kind of made her way into society, and then the Colossal Titan did its thing, and the whole story kicks off, right? Okay, she originally met up with Historia because she saw that Historia was in much the same boat of having expectations thrust upon her and letting those expectations ruin her life and da-da-da.
Yeah.
But, like, I still don't know what Isayama was going for, because then, like, after basing these two characters' plot lines off of, fuck everyone's expectations, let's do what we want to do. Let's live for ourselves, right?
Right.
Then, after coming to those conclusions, Ymir says, you know what? I'm really guilty about eating the Jaw Titan guy, so I'm just going to go with you, Bertolt and Reiner, and then we're going to go back to Marley, the other country, and then they're going to say, so we want to send a new Jaw Operator Titan back, but it can't be you. Also, this guy was the guy you ate's brother, and he wants the Jaw Titan. She says, okay, I'm really guilty about that. You can just eat me. And then she sends a really heartbreaking letter to Historia, who reads it, and there's one panel showing Ymir about to get eaten, and she dies off screen with no conclusion to her arc or her character, and that's it.
Okay.
And then Historia fades away from the story after having a major part in the Season 3 arc with her father being the ruler and the whole internal turmoil within the walls, that thing, and then she becomes the queen, and then we never hear from her again except when she cries about Ymir, and that's it. And then she just has a kid with some guy, and then, I don't know. It's like, why were these characters here? Why did you waste my time, is really what I'm asking. Why, like, you're
on the bright side, she lived.
Like, fuck, I don't know. It's just, you're really good at writing and making me care about characters, but what was the point? What was the point? I don't get it. Neither of them had arcs. They looked like they were going to have an arc, but then you just kind of, like, abandoned it. You were, like, spinning these two threads really close together, and then you just kind of, like, eh. And I don't know, I don't get it, because you didn't do that with anyone else. Like, at least, if you did, it was a death that had a point, generally, which is why,
Right.
I tolerate the deaths in that series so much. Like, a lot of other shows will just have deaths for shock value. But in Attack on Titan, it always felt like the deaths had a big... Like, usually it had effects on other characters, and it had effects on the plot, and it always felt like they had a point.
I think that's actually maybe that's why those characters had to just sort of be removed from the story. Because if you think about it, they really only interconnect with each other and not with the other characters. Like, they have interactions with other characters, but they never really tie themselves to them the way that anyone else really does.
He uses it to drive the plot by giving another character that he needs to introduce the Jaw Titan powers.
Right.
Because he can't use Ymir for that, because she would never do the things that he uses that character to do, because it's another fighter for that outside country. And Ymir wouldn't, do that, really. She would side with Historia.
I guess
so he couldn't use her.
I guess the other thing is that those characters are definite connections to that outer world. But then again, so are Berthold and Reiner. So
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. Like, he could have also just... it would have been very natural for Ymir to also leave the story if, I don't know, she was just, the Queen's bodyguard or something.
Right.
And then we never saw her again because she's off just, we never see Historia again either, except briefly now and then, because she's the Queen now. She's busy ruling the nation, not going on the mission to the outside country that we have coming up. But
it's weird too, though, because the character of her that we know from the show is not really someone that you would think of as even wanting a queen to be a queen.
No, she in fact rejected the Titan powers because she didn't want to eat Eren. But that also means she didn't gain. As I remember it, her father had the original memories of how the world got created in the first place or something, but they didn't have access to that because they ended up killing him instead of Historia accepting those things or something. I don't know, but she wasn't she specifically rejected her father's version of becoming the ruler of the walls and went her own way with it, which is good. It plays off of her arc with Ymir, but Ymir being there would have made it better. It seemed like he just decided we need to rip Ymir out of here and send her over to this other place where we're going to cut her plot thread short. Because I can't think of what to do with her, but I'm I can think of what to do with her. Why can't you? You really need her gone. You can write her out the same way you're writing out Historia and not have it be a slap upside the face for anyone who liked her character or something. There's deaths that serve the plot, and then there's deaths that are just I did this because I couldn't think of another way to do this, so this is what we're doing.
I think I'd have to watch it in order to really figure out what I think of it.
Yeah, you don't have to. It's
but I do. Everyone cares about Attack on Titan, and I'm just not watching it right now. I finally finished up some stuff that I was watching last year.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
What?
The two things that I had left over from last year were actually older shows, really old. There's one called GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka.
Okay.
Which is...
Is that a magical high school thing?
No. It's about a former gang member who decides that he wants to become a teacher.
Okay.
And just the hijinks that ensue from that. And it ended up being pretty solid. The other show I was watching was Aria, the animation.
Oh, I remember that.
You do?
I think I saw that.
Not Aria the Scarlet Ammo.
Oh.
A different show.
Okay. That's annoying and confusing.
That's about a group of girls that row gondolas in Space Italy. Space Venice.
Space Venice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's a very chill, just slice of life. And I mean very chill. It is relaxed as fuck.
Would you say it is comfy?
Yeah, that show's super comfy. I was, I became one with the sofa.
Have you... Wait.
That's how comfy that show was.
You like comfy. Did you watch,
I know what you're thinking.
The Camping Show?
The Camping Show? No, I didn't.
It's so comfy.
I haven't watched the scuba diving show yet, either.
You gotta watch...
the, like, bug-eyed chick.
You gotta watch The Camping Show.
Eurocamp?
Eurocamp, that's right.
I guess I can.
It's super comfy. You'll like it. It's great. It's great. You just put it on, and you're, like, at peace.
Okay. I actually want to rewatch New Game at some point.
Ah, that's fun.
I greatly enjoyed that show. Both seasons. Okay.
What? Did I ever tell you that I was enjoying Lelouch?
Oh, you kept watching it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I told you how I liked Lelouch as a character a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I told you about how he was really cool with the, like, the phone trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was much more of a this character is really clever moment than the fucking chess thing.
Yeah.
The chess thing is the most cliche thing I can imagine, but that, like, I was like, wait, what? Like, that has to be a different voice. Like, I can't tell from the voice actors, because, like, I can't understand Japanese that well, so, but that has to be a different voice actor. How do you not recognize that it's a different voice? But then I was wrong. It was the same voice. It was a tape recorder. I'm like, oh!
Oh, yeah, that scene. That scene.
And I was like, that! Yeah! I'm like, this guy. I like this guy. That was the moment where I was like, you live up to my standards of a arrogant, conniving bastard character, and I love it, and I am all the way in on you. Because I was like, up until that...
I forgot about that scene, because, like, that was, like...
It's in the first
Kellen in the shower, right?
Yeah. And, like, that was the moment where I'm like, I'm in on this. Because...
Oh, yeah.
It had been getting better.
It gets even better.
It had been getting better up until that point, because, like, before it was like, I wasn't really getting...
I bet you still hate Suzaku, though.
He hasn't showed up again yet.
Okay.
But...
So you're on, like, what, episode 5 or something?
Yeah.
6?
Yeah. My guess is that probably I'm still gonna hate him if he keeps siding with the people who commit genocide.
I think you'll hate him. Apparently, he becomes, like, way better in the second season when a bunch of shit goes down. Okay. I haven't seen that second series yet, though.
We'll find out. But basically, the reason that I got so into him on that scene was specifically because it was such an excellent demonstrator of his actual, like, of that, you know, trickstery kind of, like, rogue nature and the actual mastermind thing. I was like, that is a good use of the power. 1. 2, really clever. 3, the tension in that scene with the double talk. Everything each of them is saying is, like, under multiple layers of lies. And I love it so much because I love conversations where on the surface, if I just showed you the dialogue on a script, like just the words, it would be like...
Just be like, what the fuck?
What is going on?
Right, this doesn't make any...
But when all the context is applied, there's like 3 layers, and it's great. Oh, I love it.
So if I remember the context right, like, I think Colin suspected Lelouch of being,
the mastermind of being Zero, right? Yeah.
But, like... There was also, like, something else going on with, like, the kids at school at the same time that I don't remember.
I think it was... Well, so
was he, like, in a student council meeting or something when it happened?
Well, yes. They were... Like, she was in the shower because, like, someone had spilled a bunch of stuff on her during the student council meeting.
Right.
Or something. And they were like...
The board of directors demanded a little bit of fan service, and so they were like, let's make this a character moment for Lelouch.
Yeah. But it's also... And the great part is that it tied those threads of, like, you need to prove to me that this character is what you say he is together, and they did that very well. They also, in that same episode, introduced his sister, who... ties him into the world even more in a really great way because...
His sister's super fucking important.
his sister, well, I mean, his sister's also a great motivator, because I love characters who aren't, and I realize this, is that I love characters whose motivations exist outside themselves. Like,
Yes. It's
like,
not, I want to do this particular thing, it's that I need to help this person who means a lot to me.
right, and like, the fact that she was injured in a attack that was a political ploy was great, because it gives him an excellent reason to hate the system.
Yes.
Yep. And also, like, he was contemplating it at one point, and I'm like, this might work really well. Where he was contemplating how he had this power now, but he was still one person with no power other than this.
Yeah.
Against the system.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where and then after that, when he proved that he might be able to do it because he's just that clever, yes, perfect. That's exactly the character I like. I want them to be snarky. I want them to be up against an almost impossible system, and I want the only weapon they have to be their wits, right? Like, the only way you're getting through this is if you are smart about it.
Yeah.
And then I thought, and if you make the right allies, why aren't you talking to this red-haired chick? That was
now you know.
Yeah, that was, I mean, maybe that was after it. I was like, I understand why right now you do not trust her. You don't trust anyone. There's a reason for that. It's good. Eventually you need to trust her, because she's on your side, even if you don't think she is.
Well, he's on Zero's side. But I mean, like, Lelouch doesn't even trust C2.
C2?
CC?
CC?
Green-haired chick that gave him the powers.
She's dead.
You called that she wasn't.
I did, but I didn't receive any confirmation that I was wrong yet. They haven't brought her back.
I could have sworn they brought her back by that point in the show.
Yeah.
Well,
we can...
It'll probably be like next episode. I apologize for spoiling that.
No, it's fine. We should watch...
there will be pizza.
Okay.
You have my promise.
We should watch Ava, though, after this, if neither of us have seen it.
Okay.
Just... It feels like something we just need to get out of the way.
Alright.
Because, I don't know, it's just one of those things, you know?
Yeah. Like, it's a classic show that neither of us have watched for some reason. Now here's the perfect opportunity to just do it.
Yeah.
Alright. Well,
alright, go ahead.
Okay. I need to...
Get back in Sekiro mode?
Yep, so let me just...
I could stab you a couple of times.
Fuck,
okay.
No, I can just clap again. You can stab me if you want, but like...
if you need to get back in the Sekiro mood, I could just stab you.
Alright, do it.
Oh no, deflection!